Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Kursk Offensive update, the Kursk Front update. And we have, of course, updates because it's an active offensive, and we are probably 7 days. I actually lost count. It's day 14, so it's start from I think it's the 6th. So it start from the 6th, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's actually the 9th day. So I'm just a few days left to my prediction that the offensive will be finished in 2 weeks. But anyway, the big news, the big news from the Kursk Offensive is actually the collapse of the southern front. The Ukrainians have actually previously captured the Giri as they tried to break through from this area here, and they also appeared over at Belaya as well as Ivanovsky as what I think is a diversion attempt. However, the entire front has collapsed. As I mentioned, there was way too many strikes on the Ukrainian equipment and troops. They are saturated with drone strikes and Lancet strikes to the point where the entire offensive capability, which I did question yesterday when I was doing the report, I told you guys, right, that I have my no doubts whether they can still continue the operation because of they are taking this much attrition, and it looks like they didn't carry on. They took too much casualties and too much equipment lost. So the Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from the Giri region, and in fact they have also withdrawn from Ozersky. And the fact that they withdrawn from these two locations also means that they are no longer at Balaya and Ivanovsky. They just can't be there. So unless there is this secret situation where we do not know whether Ukrainians run off to another countryside and go from another direction, which is not impossible, but unless that's the case, we are now seeing that the entire Ukrainian front line over on this southern flank of the Kursk offensive, the Kursk front, has collapsed. The Russian media, I'm not even talking about troops, not even talking about geolocation. Literally, the media has actually arrived at Giri and they drove all the way down to Ozerky, and they basically reported from these locations. There is totally no indication of Ukrainian forces anywhere. They are very relaxed. No danger to them. They interview the residents, and they also take video. They also capture the video footage of the burnt out Ukrainian vehicles, which confirmed that the Ukrainians were there and they were hit by all these drones that was geolocated. So some people cope really badly. The pro-Russian side, where they took the comments. How can we be sure whether this geolocation is even real? It's like, I was like, come on, man. So because of this fact, the Russian forces basically have retaken Ozerky and Giri. They have captured these locations, and I've drawn the front line currently at this point, with the forest as a potential area where the Ukrainians are still holding up positions. Potentially, because the next is just a border. They will just return to Ukraine. So because of this, the Russian forces also probably retaken Belaya and Ivanovsky. But Belaya and Ivanovsky is not really that popular within the media trending space. Now, Giri is extremely trended because so many footages came out from there. And according to the Russian sources, the Russian troops is currently clearing Giri and Ozerky. But in my opinion, there's nothing much to clear. The soldiers probably just go through and make sure that all the residents are safe and whatnot, and maybe check out for any potential explosive. But I don't think the Ukrainian forces in this area is in this offensive is operating in this kind of way, because the operation is just some kind of different operation. They are doing maneuver, deep strikes, deep maneuvers, deep advances, and they don't have time to really set up all these booby traps, because the key is movement. The key is quickly moving around, actively avoiding detection, avoiding getting pinned down, or Russian troops reinforcing to block them. So this is kind of different operation. In Ukraine itself, in the actual Ukraine war itself, retreated locations can be extremely dangerous because the Ukrainian troops that was previously entrenching there could have prepared a lot of booby traps, a lot of mines and explosive that can be detonated remotely and whatnot. The Russians do exactly the same thing. So, but in terms of the Kursk front situation, is just not the case. So we will just continue to monitor, but I got a feeling that the Ukrainians may lose the entire area. But at Plekovo, there is confirmation of Ukrainian presence due to geolocation of Ukrainian forces over in Plekovo. So the Ukrainians definitely is still going to stay within this area. But if they cannot break out from this area, from this region, then this may become a firm front line, and that would be bad. In a way, that would be bad for the Ukrainians battle, because in static warfare, the Russians have the advantage. As you can see, if you watch the SIP you'll probably see that the Russian forces has been progressing daily everywhere, across for the past half a year plus. So, which is why static line is bad. Okay, so we move on. So since we are going from the south, let's go northward from this area. At the Sudja region, we don't have much. We only have bombardment reported at Sudja. And this bombardment has been reported in multiple places, and particularly reported by the Russian Defense Ministry over at Mikhailovka. And Mikhailovka, Sudja, this is Oleshnia, I thought it's another name. Oleshnia, Moritsia, Mariupolia. So these are the few locations that the Ukrainian forces is getting hit by Russian shelling, and this clearly shows the Ukrainian line, where they are trying to control the front line, and they're getting stuck over here. And then this is probably where the Ukrainian reserve is currently, holding up, potentially trying to attack in this direction in. But this operation has now been abandoned, so I'm not sure what they're going to do next. But another bombardment is interesting is over here at Petroshivka, which means that the Ukrainian forces also may have forces around here. We have fighting reported over at this checkpoint at Kolotiklovka, which this is a continuation of the attack yesterday. So the potentially the Ukrainians may attack. Use another color, may attack from another vector of attack, and maybe go into another entirely different territory to mess up things. So this is still a possibility. This is still a threat to the Russian side. Whether the Russian border troops is able to secure the border is another story altogether, because it doesn't matter how well you prepare, as long as the enemy have more equipment and more men than you, they can break through. And if you have nothing in the rear position, then it will be a breakout, just like what happened in the Kursk Offensive. So watching on, this line makes sense because the Ukrainians are protecting this major road. So the Ukrainian forces holding up in all these locations, makes perfect sense. It's just a line protecting the highway. So this is the lifeline. They have to protect it. But the front line is not very good for the Ukrainians, because the front line is pretty too close. It's too close to this highway. And particularly at Matanovka, confirmed that Russian forces is there. The Russians are holding positions there. We have the Russian Defense Ministry reported that they have repelled the 82nd Airborne Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, where they are trying to get this foothold around here, and they are failing to get it. The Russian forces are holding the line, and Ukrainians do have Mykolaiivka, which because there's shelling reported around here. So the Ukrainians is now in a pretty uncomfortable position, because Martinovka is extremely important strategically in this offensive, because they need this very important juncture in order to continue to assault towards the nuclear power plant direction if they want to. And this also hampers the ability for the Ukrainians to break out, use another color, you break out in this direction. So this is very important, and the Russians are holding up these lines. Is just very, very uncomfortable for the Ukrainians. So let's see how this goes. The fact that the Ukrainians have not even break out, try to encircle the Russian forces that was potentially over at Dmitrievkov and Agronom is interesting. They could suggest that there might be more Russian troops in this area than previously estimated, or the Ukrainians are undermanned in this area here, as they are trying too hard to attack Matanovka. We're not sure what's the situation right now, but This area here is extremely uncomfortable for the Ukrainian forces because this one push in and the entire lifeline will be broken, and it's going to be uh, one hell of a problem for the Ukrainian forces to get out. Because you can see all the roads leads to Suja and then out back to Ukraine, and so yeah, it would be a big problem to in terms of a potential withdrawal if they decided to abandon the offensive. Yeah, then the Russians is way too close from the exit point, so this is not good. Over at this eastern flank, the Ukrainian forces are still reportedly trying to attack in the direction of the Kursk region, the Kursk nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant is here. Kursk city is over here. They are still trying to push out. So I put this only as potentially they are there. They are pushing in this direction because this is based on Russian sources. They are saying that they are advancing in this direction. But yeah, so that's what I've just simply put. They may not be there, which is why this is, you see the Russian front line is drawn in this way. This is just a possible Ukrainian presence. There's no confirmation that they're actually there. So because the fighting is still stuck at Martinovka. We move to the northern flank. At the northern flank, the mapping, you can see there is a potential Russian encirclement or encircled forces, but like I said, this highway may not be necessarily defended entirely. Russian forces could potentially move left to right easily. So so the Ukrainian forces previously was reportedly to have a huge force gathering around this region of Levshinka all the way to Dresnoy. The fighting indeed is coming out from this area. Ukrainian forces is now continuing the attack towards Kromsky Beki, as well as fighting in the area of Oleksiev Kiev, as well as Kauchuk. Oleksiev Kiev, yeah, Alexiev Key. Sorry, I forgot. I keep saying Oleg because it's a Ukrainian way of pronouncing Alexiev Kiev. Yeah, so the Ukrainians are pushing in this direction, and there is a Ukrainian armored vehicle that was struck by a Lancet, destroyed at this geolocated position. So confirming Ukrainians are indeed in this area here. They are trying to push through the countryside. As I said, the Russian troops is likely to be defending in the settlements, and the Ukrainians will try to go through the outskirts and go through the countryside. However, you can see that doing so doesn't necessarily mean that you will survive, because the Russians seemingly is using overwhelming forces of drones to use as the main weaponry to combat the Ukrainian incursions. Unless in specific locations like like Kauchuk and Alexievsky, the Russians are wanting to hold this position. Any other places, they are just allowing the Ukrainians to drive around, and they just go strike them with drones, monitor their movements, and it's a totally different way of warfare. It's very, very cutting edge. It's not really done in a way in such a scale. The last time I would say that a war is fought in this way, with high movement, we are talking about very high movement around here, is probably the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Armenia was fighting in this old school way, and they got totally smashed by the Azerbaijanis, where they are using a lot of drones. They're using the Baraktar and everything. Then it totally devastated the Armenian forces. So the Russians seemingly is using this way as well, and they are using Russian troops only as choke points to filter Ukrainian forces, in specific directions. And yeah, it might work. And we can see that the Ukrainians do not really have much difference in terms of incursion. They didn't really push much further. It looks like they are kind of stuck right now. The front line is starting to form. Because the past 24 hours, the Ukrainians didn't really reach new places, and as this is only as far as it went, as Alexiev. I should avoid pronouncing this name, man. Alexievsky. So we shall see. We shall see whether the Ukrainians can make any more breakthroughs. But the lines is starting to get static, so it's bad thing for the Ukrainians. So So other than the fighting in over at Kromsky Beki, Alexiev, Kiev, Kauchuk, over on the other side, there's also fighting reported at Zuravli, according to the Russian side, as well as fighting reported at Obishkiv, Kolodes, and this is reported also by the Russian Defense Ministry. Most likely, it is the Ukrainians going through the countryside into this area here where the Russians are holding the line. So we can see where the Russian lines right now. This is where the Russian lines is currently being holding. It seems like this is the line. Whether these are the regular troops, I have no idea because we haven't seen much footages of this area yet. So, but the Ukrainians are getting stuck. They seem to be getting stuck, and the turn of the tide might be coming soon. So, for the pro-Ukrainian side, celebrate, enjoy yourself, pop up all the wines, because everything. I think from now on things might start to get negative, and so don't just go away. Know the truth. Stay subscribed. Stay like. Watch DPA's video. Truth may be hard. It might be bitter, but we are not there yet. The turning point is not here yet. So just enjoy, drink, and we move into the western flank. The western flank of the Kursk front, Ukrainian forces are still attacking over this area towards Topino. There is fighting reported at Korenevo and Snagorsk. And particularly, the Snagorsk is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. They highlighted that there is indeed fighting in this area here. The Russians are still holding a strong line over at Korenevo and over at Topino as well. The fact that the Ukrainians did not break through from this area is pretty illuminating. And this line has been held for quite a long time now. So this line is probably the strongest line for the Russians in this Kursk offensive. And the Ukrainians have been geolocated in a new location just off this lake near Nikipilovka as well as Kirinevo. Over at this very location, the Ukrainians are geolocated here, confirming Ukrainian presence around here. So this entire area here is now turned into a capture and invalidating Russian claims. But the one moving up north towards Topino, I cannot confirm yet. So no, there is no confirmation of the front line in that direction. So the Ukrainian front line, the firm one, the confirmed capture one, now gonna look like this. This is gonna be the new front line. So yeah, so it looks like I don't know, iguana. So the iguana looks very happy. So that's it for this area, and there's shelling reported over at Nikolaevo, Darino, and clearly the Ukrainians are holding a strong position around here because this is the exit. This is the other exit along with Slidikovo. So if there anything goes wrong, this is one of the exit point. The Ukrainian forces in this area will have to funnel through this area here. Then whereas the rest will go through the line and exit through Sverdlikovo. So because that, like I mentioned, this road here is super vulnerable. There's always a possibility that the Russians could punch through. So it is very dangerous. It's a bit way too near. The front line from the crossing is merely 10-11 kilometers. And I'm not sure how much troops that the Ukrainians have pulled in. So, and there is also information from Russian side that the Ukrainians have pulled in surface-to-air missile system, the air defense system, into the Kursk front, signifying that this is not a raiding operation. They are trying to hold position. This is the same thing I mentioned about the artillery system that was brought in within the first 3 days of the war as well, of the offensive as well, that the Ukrainians are not here just to tour around. They wanted to hold certain positions. So, which is why we are seeing all these heavy equipment getting pushed in. But like I said, the tactical situation here is not particularly the best. There is certain vital places that the Ukrainians have to capture. Just like the entire city of Sudzha is not firmly under Ukrainian control, is a big problem. The entire southeast corner is still not captured by the Ukrainian forces. The Ukrainians have to secure this entire area to have a strong foothold in this region. Without this, is extremely vulnerable. Whatever they try to do is going to be very, very vulnerable. Anyway, this is the quick update Oh, anyway, there's also shelling reported at Tekino, according to the Russian side. So they are still anticipating potential Ukrainian incursion from other directions. So anyway, thank you for watching. This is the Kursk update. A lot shorter because a lot lesser thing has happened because the Ukrainian forces didn't manage to break through and the entire southern flank has broke down. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update. And subscribe, and the map is in the description.